Morning everyone, and welcome to posture number 45 with me, Jo Andrews. If you've never been along to one of these sessions before, just a little reminder that it's not a workout, so anybody can take part. Listen to your body, so if anything hurts, good morning Christine, how are you? Nice to have you with us. If anything hurts as we go along through the exercises, just stop and wait for the next exercise to come along. So it's really not designed to be something that you push through, or if you're feeling a niggle or a pain today, if it makes it worse, just stop and have a little watch and have a listen and join on with the next exercise. Because postural realignment is really about helping your body to feel better, to move away from imbalances which cause pain and discomfort. And really simply, it's about getting the body to work in a balanced way again. So you maybe have noticed in yourself, you've maybe you notice that maybe your head's on one side or you're a little bit rounded in your shoulders. You tend to sort of lift a shoulder up when you're getting tense or anxious. That kind of thing can really impact the way that your muscles and your body works. Hi Irene, nice to have you with me again. Sounded a little bit coldy because I actually had COVID last week when it was a pre-record and I was off. But I'm glad to say I'm recovering, and I feel like a nice reset, a postural reset, will really do me and I hope you a lot of good today. Hi Seema, hi, how are you? Nice to have you with us as well. So what we're going to need today is, I'm crouched down on the floor because I didn't want the Royal Voluntary Service sign to hide my face while I was saying hello to you, but we're going to use a wall to start with. We're going to use a chair and we're going to use a cushion today. That's it. So that's all we're going to need. And simply, let's start by standing against our wall. So excuse the fact that you can't see my face, but I don't suppose you're really going to miss much by not seeing that. What's important is that you can see my lower body. Hiya, Jean. How are you? What a nice group we've got this morning. So I'm going to use the wall because the wall is, or any sort of flat surface, a door, is great. If you haven't got a wall or a door to be against, don't worry, you can still join in, but later on when you move away from this session, maybe have a little see what things feel like against a wall. But if you've got one, that would be really good. So I put my heels back against the wall and I'm using this straight surface, and we do this a lot in Egoscue. Hi Erica, how are you? To help signal to the body balance and straightness. So when I have my heels against the wall like this, just to start with, straight away I've got my feet positioned equally. Okay, so I've not got one a little bit farther forward than I have the other. I want to have a look down at the position of my toes as well, and you can see, hopefully, that you can see my feet there. They're pointing straight ahead and they're hip width apart. Okay, so my toes are pointing straight to that wall ahead of me, and I want to have a little look down. And as I look down, the outside edges of my feet are sort of parallel, so it looks like I'm a little bit turned in. And the reason why I really reinforce this foot position a lot in our postural work is that when our feet operate from this position, from this placement, we've got full access and full range of movement available to us. So the more we can practice bringing our, hiya Karen, nice to have you with us. The more we can practice having our feet in that fully functional sort of start position, the more likely our full body above those feet is going to start to access all of that range of movement that's available to us. However, if we've been in the habit of turning our feet out, it's going to take a little while for your body to adjust. So keep practicing these really, really simple realignment exercises. And I promise you that they will make such a difference to your health, your movement, the way that your body feels, and all of the systems in the body will benefit as well, because there's space for them to operate fully. Okay, so just while we've been standing there's been stuff going on in your body. I haven't just been sort of waffling for no reason. Your body's starting to feel and adjust to this straightness. So let's relax our arms by our sides and just get a feel now. Hopefully your bottom will be sort of pressing against the wall. You'll feel some sort of pressure against your wall. Okay. Notice what part of your upper body is coming against your wall as well this morning. And don't try and force your head back. Okay, so I'm just going to let my chin's parallel to the ground. I know you can't quite fully see it with the banner, and I'm just looking straight ahead, but I'm not, imagine I'm standing there, I'm not doing this with my head. Okay, so I'm just letting my head be where it is as my body just adjusts and starts to straighten up slightly or a little bit more. Let's help your body now grow into this sort of straight shape by using just our breath. So really, really simple. Okay, so you're just going to take a big breath in. And as you breathe out, can you see my ribs have expanded and my ribs have moved? I'm just going to breathe out and try and keep that lifted sensation as my ribs, as I have that expansion in my ribs. I'm going to do it again. And then as I breathe out, it's almost like someone's just gently running their hands down the back of my shoulder blades and down my back, and it's encouraging my body to just straighten in this top part. So keep doing that with me for a few more deep breaths. And not only will you start to feel your head naturally start to come back towards the wall, you'll be feeling calmer, more balanced. Just finding those deep breaths. I'm not going to sort of cue the pace of breath because we all take breaths at different rhythms, and it can make us go a little bit dizzy if we all try to breathe at the same timing. But just keep thinking about that rib cage expanding, your lungs expanding, and then as you breathe out, almost like someone's smoothing their hands down the back of your body, and it's keeping that front part of your body nice and open and lifted. And you're feeling grounded and connected and a whole lot more balanced than you did when we started. Let your breath return back to its natural rhythm. And you might sense now a few little sort of aches or a little bit of tingling or a little bit of buzzing in the body, or maybe even a little bit of cramp. I'm getting a little ache in that lower part of my back, but that's a good sign. It's not hurting, it's just aching. And what that's telling me is that those postural muscles that keep me in this, what I know to be my most fully functional standing position, nice and straight and aligned, those postural muscles now are switching on, they're working, they're remembering, this is how I hold her straight, and they're maybe used to being a little bit slumped forwards. Okay, so I'm going to allow that to settle for a few moments longer with just let my breathing be as it is. And, you can take just this away. This could be something that you could do at a coffee break if you're feeling a little bit, you need a bit of a refresher. While the kettle's boiling, we all probably, most of us, will switch a kettle on at some point today. While that kettle's boiling or while you're waiting for something, just standing against a kitchen cupboard or a wall or a door and get yourself a little bit straighter. Okay. We're already made some signals to the body now to straighten up, and we're going to do some reinforcements over on our chair. So I'm just going to swivel my camera and hope it doesn't go off. It didn't. Brilliant. Grab a hold of your cushion and sit down on your chair. Good morning, Caroline. I like your little face in the circle there waving. So when we sit on a chair, you might think, well, how's that going to improve my posture? Well, we do spend a lot of our time sitting, more than perhaps our ancestors would have done. And what tends to happen is we have this slouchy position. So we're a little bit rounded, a little bit tucked under in the bottom. So we're going to really help strengthen, again, good posture and good position in our seated position. So I grab my cushion here. I'm going to fold it in half because I want it to give me a little bit of resistance, and I pop it between my thighs. Okay, in fact, I might even squeeze it down a little bit more. There we go. That's it. I want it to feel like it's trying to push my thighs apart. Look at the position between my knees, and I want to just check that I've got that about hip width apart. So I'm going to measure one fist and a half a fist between my knees. Okay. Look at the position of your feet and look at mine. One's naturally wanting to come a little bit further forward than the other. So I'm going to line my feet up and check that my ankles are right underneath my knees. Okay, so showing you from the side, can you see I've got this nice sort of L shape in my lower body, and I sort of come to the end of my seat so that I'm nice and sort of alert. If you're on a sofa and it's a bit squishy, you might want to put a cushion underneath your bottom just to lift you up a little bit. Okay, so just letting your arms relax by the side of your body now, and just sit how you would normally sit. Can you see I'm a little bit rounded naturally? So I'm going to tip my pelvis forwards like I'm just rolling forwards. Okay, and then I roll back. Fantastic. And then I roll forward. So I'm going to let my arms relax now. I've got that pelvis tilt going. And I'm just going to find a little bit of mobility by rolling my pelvis forwards. I'm going to let my chin go down. And then I'm just moving from the pelvis. The pelvis is leading the job, and then I'm looking up. My pelvis rolls again, and when it's got to its rolled back position, let my chin drop. And then I roll my pelvis away, and I let my head come forwards. I let my pelvis lead the way, this big sort of functional area that joins, you know, the upper movement and the lower movement in the body. This big sort of junction, big gearbox there. And we're letting it kind of take on its role of coordinating movement, upper and lower body. So it's all coming from that lower position. And I've just got a light pressure on that cushion. I'm not squeezing and releasing, I'm just holding, because it's helping me keep some sort of activity, some strength, some commitment in this lower part of my body. I'm signaling by the lower part of my body something's going on, and my hips are doing this little bit of communication work forwards and back. I'm going to make this my last one. And then I want to stay in that tipped forward position. Can you see? Yeah, and stay there. Okay, I'm coming to join you. Just check that your foot position hasn't changed, that you're not turned out and you're not too wide, that you're nice and aligned. Fantastic. And then float your arms up to the side of the body like this, out from your shoulders. Have a little look along, because sometimes we can think we're shoulder height, but remember we've got one down here and one up there. So best you can, nice and level. And I want you just to move your arms to the point at which you can just see out of the corner of each eye your thumb. Okay, so there, back there. Tuck your fingers under, but keep your thumbs pointing straight out towards me. Keep that light pressure on your cushion and you're good. Circle the arms, tiny, tiny circles from your shoulders. Circle, 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 circle. Keep going. Check that pelvis is still tipped forward. Circle, 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 circle. 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, leave your arms where they are. Leave your fingers in that position as well. Now, from your shoulder, you're going to rotate and turn the inside edges of your arms to look up towards the ceiling. Best you can. And your thumbs now, if you have a little peep, your thumbs should be pointing to the wall behind you. Brilliant. Got it. Off we go again. Same thing. Oh, did you hear that little crack in my shoulder there? Oh, maybe you're hearing some creaks and cracks. Do not be alarmed. It happens. That's it. Circle, circle, little circles. So about the size of a side plate or a teacup plate. You got it. Nice. Keep going. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Same thing. You might be getting tingles. I'm getting some tingles on this arm. Nice bit of circulation happening, which is brilliant. Okay, now then, keeping that arm position and the hand position, sorry, the hand position, not the arm position, you're going to bring those knuckles to your temples and thumbs are away from your cheeks. So these two arm movements really help re-establish shoulder position and function. And you're going to bring your elbows towards one another and back, just towards one another and back. So you're not going to worry about whether your elbows are meeting or not. You just want to bring your elbows towards one another and backwards. I've still got that tilt in the pelvis. So that's helping realign my shoulders with my hips and keep this whole unit talking to itself. But if your elbows are touching, I want you to have a little peep down at the elbow creases. And as you look down, even if they're quite near towards one another, you might look and see, oh gosh, you know, one elbow crease, one elbow looks like it's lower than the other. So you're going to try and match up those elbow creases, level them up and go back. So just noticing, being aware of your own body and what it's doing and how it's different, maybe one side to the other, is a real great starting point for re-establishing a good body position. Okay. And it's funny, isn't it? Often we get interested in doing this sort of work when we start to get niggles. It's not something that we really care. You know, when our body's working well, we just tend to sort of get on with life, don't we? But you know what I'm finding as the older I get is that the more I can sort of weave in this body maintenance work, which I absolutely love, with the other stuff that I enjoy doing, the healthier my body seems to feel, the longer it seems to be able to go, the more energy it seems to have. So keep that body maintenance on the radar if you can. Okay, one more. Lovely. And you are there. Fantastic. Now let's have a little think about this lower part of your body. Palms of your hands facing up. Now resting on the back of your thighs. I just want you to gently pull your shoulder blades together. So just to remember that we've got that tipped forward pelvis position anyway. That's fixed when we're in our chair. Palms of my hands are facing up. Just checking that I'm not leaning forwards here. That I'm nicely sort of just weight even, right and left side. And then I just want to slide my shoulder blades together slightly to help strengthen this upper body position. Can you see? So I just gently drew my shoulder blades together. Brilliant. Squeeze and release that cushion. Squeeze and release. 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 Keep going. Turning around to join you. Squeeze and release. And do you know what? This time of year, it's really easy, isn't it, not to do stuff. But the great thing about the village hall here is that, you know, we can do it in our living rooms. We don't have to go out and get wet and cold. We don't have to go out on a dark night to an exercise class if we don't want to. We've got all of this stuff right there that we can access. So there's no excuses for not moving those lovely bodies. Squeeze and release. The key is to find something that you enjoy. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it kind of makes you smile, lights you up a little bit, makes you feel a little bit brighter. That's the thing to do. And a little bit of something is better than a lot of nothing. Fantastic. One more. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's lose that cushion, pop it to one side, and come down onto the floor. You'll need your chair in a little while, but to start with, we're just going to come down onto the floor here. So I want to do a little bit more reinforcement work around our hips and then move into our feet. So what I want to do is, like we use the wall and like we use the chair, you know, we have other positions on the floor which help reinforce these positions of our loading joints, our shoulders, hips, knees and ankles. So this is called hook lying position. And you'll see when we get there, we look like a hook that's lying on the floor. But I want to measure again that fist and a half position between my knees. I'm having a little peep at my foot position. Toes are still pointing straight ahead, and I'm still hip width apart. I'm going to use my fireplace here to stop my feet from sliding forwards, because they sometimes do. You might want to use a book or a wall, or you might be going freestyle in your room today. That's fine, but as long as you're in this hook position and that you've got space between your knees, space between your ankles, and your toes are pointing forwards. Now then, palms of my hands are facing up towards the sky, and straight away that's signaling to my shoulders, settle back and down, stay back and down, and stay in line with my hips. Okay, just check that the back of that pelvis is on the floor. You'll know if it's not because it'll feel like it's being pulled forward. That means your feet are a little bit too far away, a bit too far ahead of you. So shuffle them back in a little bit closer if you're feeling like that. If you're happy, stay where you are. Now then, we're going to start to tense and release your bottom cheeks, your glutes, these big muscles here. Okay, so off I go, squeeze and release. Really common mistakes here are to sort of lift up and down off the floor, which we don't want to do. So it can take a little bit of sort of getting going, as it were. Our glutes can become a little bit lazy if we don't use them fully and ask them to work fully for us. And they are so important in the way our legs move and the way in which our back functions. So if our glutes are weak, our body will go to our backs to help do some of that work that our glutes are there to do, and our backs will get tired, we'll get lower back pain, we might even get hip pain if our glutes aren't firing up correctly, and knee problems. All sorts of things can, come from a weak glute. And doing these little tension squeezes like this is great. It's really safe. They might feel a little bit like weak. They might feel weak. They might even be hard to detect that you're even doing anything. But the more that you use them, the more that we practice these little exercises, the more you'll start to feel them kick in when you're maybe going for a walk, if you're going for a run, if you're moving around the house, whatever it is you enjoy doing, you'll start to feel these lovely glutes showing themselves, as it were. So here I go. I'm tensing and releasing. Now, in the last few repetitions of these, I want you to notice, does one side fire up before the other? So you can see it's hardly like I'm doing anything. If somebody was watching you, they'd have to really look closely to see you were doing any work here. So the rest of my body isn't sort of getting involved. But I can feel here at my end that I seem to have one that's just sort of triggering and starting before the other. So I just want to keep repeating until I notice them evening out a little bit. And it might take me a few goes, a few sessions of these glute squeezes to really get them firing up evenly, fully, and in a balanced way. So I'm just going to do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now then, let's lie straight out on the floor. So I'm wriggling back so that I've got this sort of full, sort of lying out straight on the floor. I'm going to have another quick peek down without straining my neck to see that my feet are still hip width apart, that my toes are still pointing up towards the sky. Yep, fantastic. And then I want to tighten up my thighs. So I'm fixing this lower body position. You will feel like now you've got a little curve in the lower back. That's fine. But I'm really reaching up with the toes. So my feet are really what we call flexed, really flat. And my thighs have tightened up to really fix and reinforce this. Again, positioning of hips, knees, and ankles. Grab a hold of your right leg now and keep your left leg nice and tight. Circle your foot in the ankle joint. The most important part of this exercise is my lower leg position, lower part of this leg that's bent. It should be parallel to the ground. So I don't want my lower leg floating up in the sky so I can see all of my foot. I just want it in line with my knee. You've got it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, just from the ankle, 4, 3, 2, 1. Change direction. You might hear some clicking, some realigning, some repositioning going on in your ankle joint. That's fine. And don't forget your left leg. It's nice and tight and long along the floor. Big circles.
and back again. Sometimes that happens. We talked a little bit about fully functioning feet as you point and flex. Let's change to the other side. Probably done enough there on that side. About when our feet are pointing straight ahead, they've got their full range of movement. Start circling the other foot now. You've picked up the other foot and bent at the knee. We talked about how, that full range of movements available to you. You can tell now because you're feeling that burn in those shins, in those postural muscles, change direction. Just through the positioning of our body, we've gone, okay, all of this is available. How much of this do you use, body, on a daily basis? And your body will be telling you not a lot. And it's great because that will trigger off a whole chain of connections in the rest of your body, keeping it really healthy. Point and flex, that's it. Lovely. Last little part of our session together today, working through the feet. Don't forget, if you can see your foot and you're looking down, your leg's a little bit too high, and check that underneath leg hasn't fallen asleep, but it's still nice and tight. Well done. Last two. Last one. And then let's treat ourselves to a nice snuggle up on our chair. So I've got my chair here. I'm going to get a little bit closer just in case my microphone, this one isn't working, but the one on my camera is, so you can hear what's coming next. So I'm going to position myself like this in Egoscue classic restorative and really safe position for you. So even if it takes a little bit of shuffling to get down and to get into this position, it's well worth it. Okay, it's called static back, and it's worth a little look up if you're interested as to what it does for you. Basically, it's going to relax all the muscles in your back. Okay, so my knees are still hip width apart. Now my feet are really relaxed on my chair, and I've really snuggled up close. So I've got this lovely L shape in my legs. Palms of my hands are facing up to allow my shoulders to settle back and down. Fantastic. And then I'm just going to let my head rest on the floor, close my eyes, gaze would be up towards the sky, and I'm just going to settle and relax into the ground. Nice deep breath. And a little question to ponder on today. What is it that I am carrying that currently keeps me off balance? What can I let go of that will help restore my balance? Just noticing what answers come to you as you take a moment or two to enjoy this position, shape. And then, without getting too involved in the answers and the thought processes that go with those questions now, slide your awareness right down to the soles of your feet and imagine you could suck up and absorb through the soles of your feet, the skin of your feet, lovely warm breeze. Bring it into the whole of your foot and the bones of your feet. Slide it into your ankle joints. Feel the warmth spreading through the lower legs and the bones of the legs, into the knee and around the knees, into the big thigh bone, like a heater moving through the thighs, dropping down into the pelvis, warming all of your back muscles, the bones in your spine, the rib cage, the shoulder blades. Warm breeze across the shoulders and down through the arms and into the skin of the arms, the bones of the fingers and wrists. Slide that warm breeze over your chest and into your throat, up over your cheekbones, over the nose, over your eyes. Feel that warm breeze move across your forehead and over your scalp and away from your body, leaving you warm and relaxed on the floor now, open and balanced. Check the expression on your face. Turn it into a smile. Have a big breath in now. Open your eyes. Have a stretch, have a yawn. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit more invigorated than you did when you started. Really nice to do this midweek on a Wednesday. And I look forward to joining you again next week, where we'll have some more postural work and a little bit of Strictly in the afternoon. So I'll see you all next Wednesday. In the meantime, take care and have a great week. Take care. Bye.